We were head coach Danny Padron after the Bulldogs' 54-21 Saturday win on the road in Waxahachie over Southwestern Assemblies of God. Coach, another big win on the road for you. What did you see? What was the best things you took out of that game from Saturday?
Excuse me, Tim. No question about it. Trent White was just outstanding. Not only in his throwing ability, but taking what the defense gave us. And they were determined to stop our running game, and they did for a little bit, and then we were able to throw based on some reads that he had to come through and did a great job. What
do you see when you see Trent out there? He's not a great big guy, good, strong arm. What are some of the attributes that you're so proud that he's kind of flourished with and improved on as he's been a Bulldog quarterback?
Well, Trent has that ability to see things and then make the adjustments. And I think his demeanor, being calm and poised, really aids him in that. He doesn't get down if he makes a mistake. He's upset with himself a little bit, but he's ready to go the next play, and he puts that behind him and learns from it and continues to make big plays for us. So he's definitely a coach on the field.
When you got down 7-0 against the Lions, what was the mindset on the sideline? What were you seeing early in the game?
Yeah, I think we were dazed. I think we didn't. No matter how much you prepare for your team for, they've got to believe that it's urgent, and we didn't have that feeling. We felt that coming out of the meetings. In the meetings, there was not that sense of urgency that we had in the last two games, so you always worry about that, and I think our guys kind of walked around kind of in a daze and not ready to go, and I think it kind of woke us up being down and not being able to score the first couple of series, I guess, on offense, which is we've always scored in the first series, and so it kind of told us, but hey, we've got to respect our opponents, and they brought it. I mean, they're a good physical football team, well coached, and our guys, thought that, because they based their evaluations on the score and based their evaluations on those players, and those players could play. And I think once they realized we're in a game, then we started playing our type of ball.
What did you see? You guys took a 24-14 lead at the half. You're up by 10. Marquise has been bottled up for most of the game, and then he breaks just a huge 83-yarder that puts you up 31-14. What happened on that play, and what does that say about your 5'4" running back finally getting stuffed and then finally breaking through?
Well, I'd like to say we did a great job of reading the defenses and blocking the defense, but I think Marquise broke about 6 tackles on that play. So we really didn't read it right. He should have handled the ball. We should have thrown a screen, off that look. But he did give it to Marquise. And I think anytime you give it to Marquise, you're probably right. I think Trent might have been right. And we didn't happen to block a couple of guys, and he beat those guys at the line of scrimmage in the secondary. And he's just, like I say, he's blessed. And so we're glad he's on our football team, because he can take a bad play and make it a good play. And anytime he has the ball in his hands, there's a chance of taking it all the way. So, that's what kind of told Trent, you're never wrong if you hand it to Marquise.
You guys have put it on the turf a little bit last game, 6 times fumbled. You only lost 1. Yeah. I guess always a concern.
If you look at it, a lot of that was off special teams. Yeah. And so you get guys that are not used to carrying the football. Drake, Donald St. Anne had 2 of them, and we managed to get all those. Demetrius Brock, who's a wide receiver who should know how to take care of the football. He's a trained running back, so our running backs did a great job of taking care of the football, and so we've got to address that in our special teams, because those are big plays, and we could have lost the ball game right there.
Your sophomore wide receiver, Caleb Oliver, had 2 touchdown catches for you, his first career start in place of Dustin Hannon, who was injured. Talk a little bit about what Caleb brought to the team for you.
Well, Caleb has got that, he's got size, and he's got good speed, and can catch the ball well. So it's just about him gaining experience and knowing what to do and doing it every time, being consistent with that. But it was exciting to see. Trent and Caleb had to hook up, and they had to be on the same page, because it was a read play. We have a run-pass option off that thing, and they both read the same thing, and that's, it's exciting to see when things happen like that, because that accounted for 3 of our 4 touchdown passes, that play right there. So it was good. I think, Sagu was determined to stop our running game, which is, a pretty good strategy, and it gave us that opportunity to throw the ball. So we took advantage of that.
Your defense is now number 1 in the nation in turnovers gained, and top. You're one of the top teams again in turnover margin. Your defense really last 2 years, and really starting with your tenure here, been opportunistic in taking that ball away. And again, right now, number 1 in the nation. Tell me about that defense and what their mindset is and trying to take that ball away.
Well, we have a turnover circuit that we do each week, maybe even twice a week. But they're concentrating on taking that ball. On Tuesdays we have Turnover Tuesday, and it's a competition between the offense and defense. When we go good on good, defense gets 1 turnover, then they win. If the offense can keep turning the ball over through all the drills that we have, then the offense wins. And it's been push and pull from both sides. The defense won yesterday, and they picked one off yesterday, and I think that's it just makes it good for us because we really emphasize taking care of the ball and trying to secure the ball and trying to come up with the turnovers. And so it's good. It's all about the football. Whoever has it is going to win the game. And turnover margin to us is one of the biggest things we have. That and explosive plays. Those 2 really kind of tell us if we're going to win or not.
The first turnover you were able to get from Sagu was a pass over the middle that Darian Candler jumped up and blocked and put it into the lap of Ethan Powell, who was back after a game away from injury. And Darian also had a great play on just running across the field and taking down the quarterback. Yeah. What have you seen from Darian these first 4 games as a starting linebacker?
We expect so much out of Darian because of his athletic ability. He's been blessed. And we kind of forget sometimes that he's just a sophomore. He's just still learning. And so, he was with us last year, but really, he wasn't ready to play last year. And of course, this year, he's demonstrated that he has the ability to do it. So he still makes some mistakes, but his athleticism, helps him a bunch. And I think he's going to continue to get better.
Looking forward to this last road game of the 4-game road swing. Been on the road for a long time, since September 6th. But this has all the makings of what people could call a classic trap game. Yeah. They're coming off a loss to Austin College. We're ranked in the top 20 in the AFCA poll. I don't want to say this reminds me of last year Hardin-Simmons, but maybe it does. I don't want to say.
It sure does.
But what are you preaching to the kids this week about the Yellow Jackets and going up to Brownwood?
Well, we think it's Brownwood's always a tough place to play, and we've lost one of our games up there, first one that we played up there, in fact. But you're right. It does remind me of the Hardin-Simmons situation where Hardin-Simmons got beat by Sol Ross, and we have a chance to relax and say, okay, they're not as good as we thought they were, and that always works against you. So I think after last week's game with Sagu, they understand about respecting each opponent. They see Howard Payne with 3-1. They beat Trinity. That's enough for us to be able to say, hey, these guys can play. They're well coached. Roger and his staff do a great job, and so every year, we expect a big ball game with them, and so we don't expect anything different this week. And so we've been preaching already. I think our team had a team meeting on Tuesday and talked about some of the things that they recognized that we weren't ready against Sagu, and I think I think hopefully we'll be able to use that and not be trapped.
Yeah. Well, Coach, best of luck this week. Best of luck with the rest of the week of practice, and we will see you in Brownwood on Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Tim.